Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie?
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9,
WORD.
the voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome to the program on your Tuesday afternoon. Glad to have you along with us, as always. Appreciate you very, very much. Lots going on today. Of course, I mean, here we are in 2026. There's always a lot going on, isn't there? It just seems like every single day is just like absolutely wide open, like drinking from a fire hose. But we're going to try to cull it all down for you and bring you the most important stories of the day. And we'll give you our opinion, of course, as always. We still don't have any information about whether J.D. Vance is going to go to Islamabad over in Pakistan. Now, here's what I was hearing today, that the government of Pakistan has really beefed up the security because they don't just want J.D. Vance to go, which, I mean, it's pretty impressive, the vice president of the United States going to Pakistan. But they have beefed up the security, and I'm going to use security in air quotes, and I'll tell you why in just a second. They beefed up the security in order to try to lure President Trump to Pakistan. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but I would not be going over there if I were President Donald John Trump. I didn't know. In fact, I don't even know if I'd be going to any country with the Istan Istan on the end. If it's an Istan country, I might have to say, nah, I'll pass on that one. Especially if the city is Islamabad. So yeah, I mean some things. I'm like, nah, not gonna take a chance on that one. I'll be right here. I'll be good in Washington. Everything is fine. So again, we got no update on that, but we'll bring you more on that story. It's a very busy day yesterday for law enforcement. All you guys that were stuck on I-85 down there near Anderson, you know what an absolute mess that is. There was a suspect is dead, and a deputy was injured pretty seriously after a shooting on I-85 yesterday. The suspect has been identified by the Anderson County coroner as 32-year-old Austin Darrell Robertson. Coroner Greg Shore said the incident, like we told you, mile marker 11 yesterday, it was a traffic stop. The deputy requested additional assistance, and a second deputy arrived shortly after that. While this guy, Darrell, what was his name? I'm sorry, I lost his name here. Darrell Robinson was talking. He went to the vehicle and he grabbed a firearm. And he fired, striking one of the deputies. The second deputy then returned fire, hitting him. This guy is from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And he was pronounced dead on the scene. He died of a gunshot wound, and his matter of death has been ruled a homicide. Now, listen, homicide does not, wait, hold on. Wait. I knew when I said that somebody was going to go, what? No. Wait, no. He's not been accused of murder. Homicide just means you were shot or murdered killed, you lost your life because of the actions of someone else. So that was a homicide. Not all homicides are JJ, really? He really started to freak out there. But what do you mean? What do you mean he gets homicide? No, I know you're on the side of the police, so am I. But when one person dies at the hands of another, that is a homicide, legal definition. It is not a murder or manslaughter or anything like that. Okay, so yeah, so he assumes room temperature at the hands of another person. Okay, so there you go. But that wasn't the only thing that happened yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but wait, there's more. You're exactly right. Did you get a blue alert? On your phone, blue alert. This a woman, a Midlands police chief, was shot last night during an incident, and it was a statewide blue alert. Springfield Police Chief Adam Evans was injured in a shooting that happened last night in Barnwell County, that according to the town clerk, Tish Ridgway. Now, Springfield's got about 500 people in it, right there in Orangeburg County. So the chief was asked to go help with the apprehension of this woman, Lacey Cushman, and he got shot. She took off, so the blue alert came out, and they issue a blue alert in case there is a certain amount of danger to law enforcement. That's why they call it a blue alert. And I got it on the phone. I was like, wow, what is that? So she took off. Well, she was apprehended, actually, and she's probably going to be spending a long, long time in jail. Long, long time. She was taken into custody just before midnight last night. Now, here's the thing. We don't know yet why they were trying to arrest this woman initially. We don't know what the initial charges were. Maybe you guys know. Maybe you guys have heard about this. But this just goes to show you that every single day that these officers wake up and they put on that badge, you just don't know. You don't know if this is going to be the traffic stop, or this is going to be the arrest, or this is going to be the domestic dispute, or whatever the situation is. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. That's why we need to give these people the utmost respect. Charlie, they should charge the cause of death as lead poisoning. Yep, you're right. They got a little leadacillin. Somebody took out the wireless hole puncher, gave a little leadacillin there. So let's see. Anyway, well, that was a busy day yesterday for law enforcement. They've got something going on in Virginia today that it can't be described as anything but an absolute power grab by their new governor, Governor Abigail Spanberger. And I'll tell you about it coming up next, because this could have some serious implications. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks.
You listen on your time.
Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, they got a big vote going on in Virginia right now that is nothing less than a huge power grab. Now, Governor Abigail Spanberger, she recently signed on to the National Popular Vote Compact, which means Virginia would give all 13 of their electoral votes to whoever won the popular vote. Now, see, it doesn't matter in Virginia who you really vote for. They've just taken your vote away in Virginia. So whoever wins the popular vote, they're going to win all of them, all 13 electoral votes from Virginia. Okay? So here's the thing. So let's say, I wonder how they would have felt if in the last election, Donald Trump won the popular vote and Virginia had to give all of their electoral votes to Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure they would have been very upset. But you see, what they're banking on is the Democrats staying in power. And this is all this is about, Democrats staying in power. So what they're doing in Virginia is they're taking a vote on whether or not to redistrict Virginia. And that would be really bad for the GOP. Here's Fox News.
As 4 seats. Critics call the move a power grab, but new Democratic Governor Abigail Spanberger says the Republicans started it.
We know that this all began when President Trump said that he was, quote, entitled to extra seats in Congress. That's where we saw Texas first launch into a redistricting process to begin to try and stack seats within the halls of Congress. And so now, as we have seen states take action, Virginia has the ability to do something responsive.
Former Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, he joins me now. Thank you for being here. The Democrats are playing hardball. In fact, they even called in the former president to help.
You can push back against the Republicans trying to give themselves an unfair advantage in the midterms.
So that was Barack Hussein Obama. Now, here's the thing, though, and I'll say this until it's not true. The Democrats are just better at playing politics than the Republicans. We've had several states, Nebraska being one of them, Ohio, another couple of states there, even here in South Carolina. We had the opportunity to redraw our districts. Here in South Carolina, we could have gotten rid of Jim Clyburn's district. We wouldn't have to worry about Jim Clyburn anymore. But our weak-kneed rhino legislature and our disappearing governor, well, I was talking to Peggy, and Peggy told me that she didn't understand it, so therefore I don't understand it either. So we didn't get that done. They didn't even try. They didn't even make a veiled effort to redistrict here in South Carolina. Now, other states, they got weak-kneed. Man, I'll tell you what, we need to get a whole bunch of physical therapists over in the Republican Party to check on these people's knees. Maybe they're too weak from bending them to the Democrats all the time. Maybe that's the problem. I swear to you, another thing I'll say, I don't really think Republicans want to govern. And I don't think they want to win the midterms. That's a darn shame. If you're in politics and you don't want your party to be victorious, you need to get out. Leave. But that power, the power they have, the money, everybody glad-handing them. Oh, Congressman, oh, Senator, we would love for you to go to this event or that event. Hey, we'd love you to come on. Did you see how many politicians were down at Hilton Head over the weekend at the Heritage Golf Tournament? Did you see them? They were everywhere. Everybody there wearing their plaid. Yeah. let's go to the Camden. Oh, I got invited to the Camden Cup. I got invited to the whatever. They love it. They absolutely love it. But what they don't want to do is actually get in there and fight for you, which is a shame. But even seeing, so if you look at the map right now, Virginia, there are 11 congressional districts in Virginia. In the last election, you had 6 of those districts go to Kamala Harris. You had 5 of those districts go to Donald Trump. If they were to redraw this, 10 districts would have gone to Kamala Harris, and 1 district would have gone to Trump. That's it. That's it. So I know it's kind of crazy, but even CNN, they're admitting how insane this is. Take a listen.
And just take a look at how this map is structured. What they do is they've taken the heavily Democratic areas in the northern area of Virginia, and they've created 5 separate districts that basically pinwheel out to go out into conservative, more rural areas, including where we are right now in the proposed 7th congressional district. It's actually interesting. We're kind of like smack dab in the middle of the district. And if you go in one direction, there's another district about 1.5 miles away. In the other direction, there's another district about 2 miles away, really highlighting the shifts that are being seen right now with these proposed maps.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I've told you the story about when I lived down in Charleston. I was in a condo on Calhoun Street. The condo that I was in, the building, it was the only one on the street that was in Jim Clyburn's district. That's how gerrymandered his district is. Pretty amazing. But this is, I mean, what do you expect from the Democrats? They've got it there because they know that if you look at the national polls, they're not doing all that great. But unfortunately, that message hasn't really gotten to a lot of their voters out there. And they are, and especially in places like Virginia. And this is what I don't understand. If I voted for somebody who is supposed to be a moderate, like Abigail Spanberger, and that person comes in and immediately levels 52 new taxes on the people of the state, I'm done. At that particular moment, I'm done. I don't support anything this woman does. But what you got to look at is how many people, and we'll talk about this tomorrow because all of the demographics will be in. We'll find out that this does pass. I'm predicting it would take 2 things: a massive Republican turnout and a dismal Democrat turnout for this not to pass. It would have to be one of those things, like I said, I can't believe this happened. That'd be all over the news. I can't believe this happened. But we'll break it down, and you will find out that most of the voting that was done in Virginia is going to be in the Arlington area. Let's go to Ted in Pelzer. Ted, welcome.
Hey, thanks for taking my call,
Yes,
Charlie.
sir.
You know, I wonder, with all the new taxes that Spanberger has put in place so soon after becoming governor,
yeah,
I wonder if that's going to turn off any Democrat voters because, you know, to me, if she had waited a year to put this into play, it might have been better. I realize we're racing against the midterms, but, you know, with her flipping from supposed moderate to extreme lefty in the span of 2.6 days, you know. That,
it was, too. It was.
You know, when you look at it, though, I mean, these taxes hurt Democrats just as much as they hurt Republicans.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't think – I know a lot of people in Virginia – I've got family up there, and there's Democrats, but not all of them are far left. Yeah. And so I wonder how many of those people are actually going to turn out for that. But that's all I got. I'll take it off the air.
Oh, we're going to see. And again, it's going to turn, as all elections. Elections are about math. That's all it is. Whoever gets the vote, the best voter turnout, whichever side, you're going to win. Have the Republicans in Virginia done enough in communicating, and you can ask this in any election, have the Republicans done enough to convince the people of Virginia, especially those in the Arlington area, and those are just blue dog Democrats, man. Or what they used to call yellow dog Democrats. They'd vote for a yellow dog if it was a Democrat. These guys, they love Spamberger. They love the socialist ideology. They love the whole tax and spend mentality. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen what home prices are like in Arlington, Virginia. And by the way, that's just nothing but a suburb of Washington, D.C. They love it. They don't care. A few more dollars here or there. When you're in your brownstone, doesn't matter to you. Well, no Iranian delegation sent to Pakistan, and it looks like the talks are on hold for right now as the deadline looms. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Tap and type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let's go to the WRD talk line. We'll talk to David in Lawrence. How you doing, David?
I'm doing pretty well.
Yes, sir. What's up?
I've been saying for quite a while that the ours do not want to be in power. They would rather be the minority power so they can say, well, if we had power, we would do this, we would do that. And when they get it, they don't do squat.
Yeah.
They use it for fundraising, I think, so they can. Well, we need more money so we can get in power. Real quick, if I got time.
Yeah.
Back when Boehner was the speaker.
Yeah.
And they got the House, and he was the speaker. He was saying that, well, we only got 1/3 of the government. We need more power. So they got the Senate. And then it was well, we need the presidency.
It's always the pattern.
Presidency with Bush, and they still couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same stuff that they're doing today.
Well, look at that. I mean, you can even go a little closer in time than that. Remember Paul Ryan? When we won with Donald Trump, we had the House, the Senate, the White House, and Paul Ryan says, well, I guess now we're going to have to learn how to govern.
Yeah, they don't want to.
No, they don't. They
really don't want to. I know it's sad. It really is.
And they think. Here's the thing, though. They think we don't notice.
Yeah,
that's a heck of it all.
I've been saying that Trump should start a third party, and he would probably get rid of the Republicans.
Let me tell you something. It would, and I appreciate your call. And if that were to happen, it would put, number one, here's what would happen. The Democrats would win. Okay? Just to let you know, that would initially happen. All right? Because now you've got the conservatives over here on the right. Well, they're going to be split. The Democrats would have more of a majority voters than the right would have. But it would take a long time. It would take a long time. But that would be a party that would really hold a heck of a lot of power. It truly would. So we would have to go through a very tough patch for a while. But it would scare the living hell. It would scare the hell out of these rhinos to just think that they don't. That's why I always, here's been the problem with Lindsey Graham and the fact that Lindsey Graham thinks that he is immune. Lindsey Graham thinks he's immune to criticism because he's never, and I'd say up until this year, never really had a good, solid, well-funded, well-spoken primary opponent. Never has. He's been able to cruise right on through for whatever reason. I don't find the guy all that, engaging. I don't think he's all that funny. I've seen him a dozen times, and he tells the same jokes every time he goes somewhere. No, me and Donald Trump get along. He likes him. And I like Donald Trump, and he does too. Okay, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, ha, ha, we heard that. Heard that last week. But this is the same. Let me tell you, I give a little story about Lindsey Graham. I went to, when Donald Trump was running back in 2016, I went to a fundraiser for Jeb Bush, just out of curiosity. It was an appearance by Jeb Bush. I don't think it was a fundraiser, but they're all fundraisers. But this is an appearance by Jeb Bush down in Charleston. And I had just left. And if you go back, I had just left a Ted Cruz rally in Charleston. I was covering all the rallies. So I just left the Ted Cruz rally. And then we go over to see Jeb Bush, my wife and I. Let me tell you something. I've been to more exciting funerals than that Jeb Bush appearance. It was so low energy. It was so bad. And who was the guy there just, trying to get everybody? Lindsey Graham. He was right there. So, again, anyway, way off what I was going to talk about this segment, but you're absolutely right. I don't think the Republicans really want to govern. I really don't. Well, we have no delegation. It looks like that J.D. Vance's trip to Islamabad has been now put off, and we've got the deadline coming up tonight is the deadline. Apparently, they're having a big meeting, a big huddle in the White House, and they're talking about exactly how they're going to handle this situation in Iran with the deadline fast approaching, tick-tock, tick-tock. And now we've boarded another ship over in Iran. And this one was kind of special. Listen to President Trump over on CNBC.
It will also hurt them. It'll hurt them militarily. They use the bridges for their weapons, for their missile movements. They're trying to move the missiles because we've obliterated most of their missiles, and they're trying to move their missiles around, even during the ceasefire, which I think was a good thing because we're totally loaded up. We have so much ammo. We have so much of everything that we've, much more powerful than it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. So we've used this to restock, and they probably have done a little bit of restocking. We caught a ship yesterday that had some things on it which wasn't very nice, a gift from China perhaps, I don't know. But I was a little surprised, but because I have a very good relationship, and I thought I had an understanding with President Xi, but that's all right. That's the way war goes, right? But I will tell you that our military is incredible, what we've done. I mean, think of it.
So anyway, we hear that we boarded that ship and found a whole lot of weapons going to Iran. Could it be from China? Would it surprise you if it was? No, of course not. Nobody's going to be surprised because China has a vested interest in this. But then you got to go back and you got to go and look at exactly what Donald Trump is doing. Let's not lose the big picture, all right? Let's not lose the big picture here. What happened in Venezuela with Maduro, what is happening in Iran right now, wasn't just about narco trafficking in Venezuela, wasn't just about the drug boats, although that played a big part of it. And what's happening in Iran has to do with the possibility of them getting a nuclear weapon, but even more importantly, these are the places that fund the globalist cabal that eventually want to take over the world. The folks like the World Economic Forum that says you will own nothing and you will be happy. Well, if you don't own it, who does? They do. And China kind of needs that cheap oil from Iran. So we'll see what happens tonight. Could be a very interesting evening, but it looks like China has been caught trying to give a gift to Iran. We'll be right back. Oh, when we get back, another member of Congress has just resigned. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
You're locked into the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
So the deadline is tomorrow night for Iran. Tomorrow's going to be a very interesting day. It really is. Now, what a lot of people are watching, and this is so funny, because little things like, the folks at the Department of War are sitting around going, tomorrow's going to be a busy day. We better order some pizzas. So what some people do is they go to, they kind of monitor the pizza deliveries that are going to the Pentagon during a crisis. So let's see what happens tomorrow. If we have a lot of pizzas delivered, make mine a meatball sub if you don't mind. I prefer that over pizza. But although I do love my pizza. But I do love my meatball subs. I would be the meatball sub guy. So anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. They've still got a little while. But as of right now, J.D. Vance, and here's the thing, they're trying to drag their feet. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to buy time, drag their feet. It could be, maybe, sometime later on this evening, early tomorrow because of the time difference. They might reach out to the president or, whomever, Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff, and say, hey, listen, just give us a couple more days. Just give us a couple more days. We got some scheduling issues. Ahmed had a birthday for his daughter, and so we gotta put that off. It's her 18th birthday, so we're gonna wait on that. She's a spinster. She's not even married. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But if you think about Iran, what word comes to mind? Trust, honesty. Remember, what is it called? Taqiyya? Taqiyya, where you can just lie to anybody except for Allah. So anyway, we'll see what happens with it. But it could get very loud very soon over in Iran. And then, but again, they're trying to drag it out because they don't believe that President Trump is going to get congressional approval to continue the war after the 60 days. That's what they're counting on. Here's a interesting little thing. The Iranians are counting on the Democrats and the rhinos to save their butts. How about that? Yeah. Who'd have thunk it? All right. So anyway, we got a member of Congress who has resigned, Representative Sherflatulence, Representative Sherflatulence McCormick, a Democrat, has resigned just minutes before her ethics committee hearing. Oh, my goodness. That's awful. So that's the third one coming up. And we might have another one. Nancy Mace is calling for Corey Mills to be booted as well. So we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be very interesting. Speaking of interesting, the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the South, nothing to do with poverty, and certainly nothing to do with the law. They are under investigation by the DOJ. They posted a YouTube video. Their interim president and CEO, Brian Fair, blamed Republicans for targeting the Law Center in the past and labeling it as partisan and profitable. Yes, because they are. And the probe is going to focus on the organization's use of confidential informants. Although we don't know all the details, the focus appears to be on the SPLC's prior use of paid confidential informants to gather credible intelligence on extremely violent groups. Oh, extremely violent groups? You mean like the Moms for Liberty? That unbelievably violent group of women who want nothing more than the best for their children? Violent groups like that? Oh, okay. This use of informants was necessary because we are no stranger to threats of violence. Now they're the victim. Now they're the victim. I'm telling you what, you want to talk about, and yes, extremely partisan. The SPLC is nothing but partisan. The informants were to infiltrate what the nonprofit, there's still a nonprofit, what the nonprofit deemed to be radical and violent extremist groups like Moms for Liberty. And the Law Center was forced to work with confidential informants due to violence that occurred 55 years ago during the Civil Rights Movement. Oh, okay. The Capital Research Center's work regarding, and this is from the Western Journal, the Capital Research Center's work regarding the SPLC tells a different story, one where the group uses a massive war chest that rivals large universities and hospitals while exhibiting extreme political bias unfit for a nonprofit entity. The SPLC is perhaps the most notorious for its hate map, which not only neglects to track extremist groups on the left, but lumps mainstream conservative and religious organizations right alongside some of the most reprehensible neo-Nazis and white supremacists in the country. Folks like Turning Point USA. And it also enjoys tax benefits of a nonprofit, despite all of their activities being highly controversial and divisive. The group's website focused on making noise in the southern U.S. with a banner that reads, "First in the South, then the nation." Oh, okay. We're starting a movement in the South that will inspire change nationwide. So anyway, the SPLC, pretty amazing. Yeah, under investigation. That's good. Coming up, when we get back, the Anderson County GOP has censured Representative Don Chapman. We'll talk with their chair coming up in just a few minutes. And also, we got another bill that you need to call your state representative about, and don't let them bamboozle you. We'll tell you about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. It's the Charlie James Show, News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
A native Georgia bulldog who bites back at big government. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
America is back.
Yes, sir. All right. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Anderson County Republican Party that Representative Don Chapman be officially censured by the ACRP until rescinded by the elected voting representatives from the organized precincts in the ARCP should his future actions demonstrate a distinctive and consistent change to support and vote to advance conservative Republican issues. So Don Chapman, censured by the Anderson County GOP. Joining us right now is Randy Jones. And Randy, I gave you a bit of a promotion. I didn't know you got promoted to the chairmanship. Just kidding. Executive committeeman over there. So you brought this forward, right?
That is correct.
So what inspired you to say, you know what, I've had enough. This guy's got a 35 Freedom Index score. He's not voting conservative. What made you go ahead and bring the resolution to censure?
Well, Charlie, this is, as you had a caller on previously talking about how we have, many Republicans that, like in South Carolina, we have a super majority of Republicans.
Right.
The Senate, the House, the governorship, and yet we can't pass conservative legislation. And you think, why is that? And I've seen it personally in working on a lot of Second Amendment issues over the years where we got Republican representatives down there that will not stand up for conservative values.
Right.
And, you had somebody earlier talk about, the need to start a different party. I think conservatives just need to stand up and take back the Republican Party.
I do too. I think that would be great. Now, here's a little thing that I found interesting, because if you you have to sign a loyalty pledge to be in the Republican caucus in Columbia.
Mr. Chapman did that too.
Yes, and one of their rules is you do not campaign against an incumbent, but he did. He gave $1,000 to Kyle White against April Cromer.
Well, that's just part of the deal. Rules for us, but not for them. And unfortunately, that's something that the South Carolina GOP under the leadership of Drew McKissick, it's all about it, protecting the establishment rhinos. And it's time for that to change. And, I wasn't sure whether that was something that our county party would stand behind, but it was an overwhelming vote to do this resolution to censor him. So we're hoping that it's going to send a loud message to other rhino Republicans out there to stop and think, even though you've been getting voted in your district, you may not be representing the folks of the county.
Yeah.
And I hope that we can open the eyes of some of his voters, that they will reconsider how they vote, in this coming primary. The primary is where we really determine what's going happen for conservatives.
Exactly right. The primary is primary. But if you go and you look at the South Carolina GOP platform, it's a good one. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's good. I mean, how many of those points in the Republican platform has this guy violated? I'm looking at this. He voted against an amendment that would criminalize doctors who perform transgender surgeries. I mean, the list goes on and on.
But Charlie, that's the game that they play in Columbia, and you'll never know that unless you specifically listen in to some of the committee hearings and some of the debate that happens on the House floor. And they play these little games where they start making amendments to bills, so then they can say, well, we had to vote against that amendment, and they'll end up creating the situations where they can kill bills that don't want to go through, but they'll never be able to say, oh, I didn't support that, because they play those little games. And it's just time that we stand up and call them out for what's going on.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, this guy has got a Club for Growth scores. 2025, he got a 34. Lifetime, he's got a 28. Freedom Index score of 35. I mean, we need to get good conservatives in office. And you know what? As long as somebody's sitting in that seat, it's hard to do, isn't it?
It surely is. And it is difficult to unseat those people, but we do have somebody running against him this time, and I'm hoping that people will come out and vote. And let's make some changes and not just in that particular position, but there's a lot of other ones in the state that need to be. People need to find out and get active in their county party and find out what's going on, and let's make sure that our conservative voice is heard.
You are exactly right. Well, I appreciate it, Randy Jones, EC with Anderson County GOP. I appreciate it, buddy. Don't be a stranger to the show.
Right. Good deal. Thanks, Charlie.
Take care. So how bad is our state legislature? So I just went to the Freedom Index page, and I just looked at Republicans. That's all I looked at, Republicans. We have got 23 members of our House of Representatives whose Freedom Index is in the 20s. The 20s. You got Scott Montgomery. His Freedom Index score is 20. But he's not the worst. No, he's not the worst. In fact, we've got a representative that is in the teens. Gil Gatch. His Freedom Index score is 13, down in the 94th. 13. So we've got 23 members whose Freedom Index score is in the 20s. We've got 31 members that are in the 30s. Good night. Good gracious. So you've got 54 members of our House of Representatives who have a Freedom Index score of 30 or less. No, basically 39 or less. Please, somebody, tell me how they are conservative. And again, tell me how the South Carolina GOP is supporting these people. Why can't y'all be like my buddy Stephen Frank? Freedom Index score of 100. That's pretty darn good right there. 100%. Coming up next, I was speaking of the South Carolina GOP. There's a bill before the House that you're going to need to contact your representative about. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Tough on issues, sharp with facts. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Interact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
We got another Back to Basics breakfast going on Saturday. You don't want to miss out on these, folks. If you like to get together with a group of really strong conservatives, listen to some great speakers. The Back to Basics breakfast is absolutely fantastic. This month, they're going to be having Representative Diane Mitchell. She's going to be there telling us all about, being a new member of the state legislature in Columbia. So that's the Back to Basics breakfast at the Golden Corral, 3240 North Pleasantburg Drive in Greenville. Starts at 9 o'clock. Love to see you there. I'm going to try to get out there myself. We'll see if my schedule works out on that. Speaking of schedules, tonight the governor's debate is going on down at the Satilli Theater in Charleston, which is it's a very nice place. Am I going to go? Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get here. I'm going to drive all the way down to Charleston for something I can watch on Roku, So, no, I won't be attending that one. But again, the governor's debate going on tonight. Okay, we were just talking about the South Carolina GOP, right? And I know a lot of people have issues with the South Carolina GOP, and I can't say that those issues are completely unfounded, because I've been seeing some, strange things my own self, like who they actually support, and more importantly, who they don't support. And when you get a group, and I just told you, we've got the 54 members of our state legislature, and this is just the House. 54 members of our state legislature in the House who have a Freedom Index score below 40. 40. Gil Gatch he's 13. He's got a Freedom Index score of 13. How is the Republican Party, who works so hard on that platform, they get this platform, they say, listen, this is what we believe in the South Carolina GOP, and this is what we're looking for. And then when these people get into office, and all of a sudden they don't do anything in the platform. Yes. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. JJ. But when they don't support the GOP platform, then guess what? The GOP should not support them. Doesn't that make sense? That makes sense to me. So now in the primaries, if you've got an issue in the primaries, all right, the way it works now is if you've got a protest in the primary, that starts at the county party level. Anderson County, Greenville County, Spartanburg, the county party starts the protest process, okay? And then you have multiple layers of appeals, including the circuit court. Candidates have 26 days to gather evidence. The winner has to wait until the challenges were resolved before actually taking office. Where there's a bill out there right now. It's called H3556. 3556. No longer do appeals start or protests start at the county level. Now they have to go straight to the state executive committee. And appeals can only go to the Supreme Court and only based on the party's hearing record. And protests must be heard within just 11 days. And declared winners can take office immediately, even if the challenges are ongoing. Who does that sound like they're trying to protect? Who does that sound like they're trying to protect? The incumbents. The incumbents. So I'm just, I sit here and I go, good gracious. I want to see. Let me just double check. Let me just double check here. And Scott, I see you there over in Crawford. I am going to get to you in just a second. I want to see who sponsored this. Representative Newton did. Newton did this. Oh, my goodness. You mean, Brandon Newton with a Freedom Index score of 33? You sponsored this? Oh, that's lovely. That's rich. Then you got Schuessler, you got Taylor, you got Hickson. Anyway, trying to protect their own. Let's go to Scott in Crawford, Georgia. How you doing? Go Dogs.
Hey, Charlie, I just wanted to tell you, you was talking about the South Carolina GOP. The Georgia GOP is just total meltdown. I mean,
really?
I've left the party. I'm through with them. It's just that there's too much infighting in the party in Georgia. We got a serious homeless problem in the state, and the Republican Party's not dealing with it in Atlanta, the Georgia House. We got the same problem. We got these representatives that are supposedly Republicans, but they're Democrats, and they just including our governor. And it's just, Kemp's like McMaster. They both twins of evil.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just the same. We're going through the same thing you're going through. I just wanted to, bring that up.
And I appreciate it, Scott. And I think a lot of people are going through this. I really do. But I want Scott, maybe you ought to rephrase that just a little bit. You didn't leave the Republican Party. They left you. They moved closer to the left than you did. So you didn't go. We didn't go anywhere. MAGA hasn't gone anywhere. Make South Carolina great again hasn't gone anywhere. But for some reason, these people get elected because of the support that they get. So again, if you can't support the state GOP platform, why should they support you? Or better question, why do they support you? Because they always seem to. So now we're seeing long lines in Virginia as voters are turning out to decide whether to pass a measure that would gerrymander the Commonwealth of Virginia from a 6-5 Democrat-Republican district to a 10-1 state, Democrats to Republican. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's going to pass. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks.
You listen on your time.
Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Let's go to the phones and talk about some missing scientists with Ray in Clinton. How you doing, Ray?
Pretty good. Thanks for taking my call again today. In my 41 years of working, I worked for Pratt & Whitney Aircraft Jet Engine Works in Hartford. I worked for another company doing ICBMs that made the motors for the ships and submarines.
Well, does it surprise you that all of these scientists are going missing, Ray?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm trying to say is that I don't know of any of them by name, but because I didn't work in doing their work, I was doing the work around the equipment that they needed. And I got sent to this company to work on ICBMs, but when I got there, because I was cleared about as good as the President of the United States on my previous job, they said, we got some stuff for you to do. And so I didn't realize what it was all about, but now that I'm thinking about it, I do believe it had to do with what those scientists were working on.
Maybe so, Ray. You might be lucky they didn't get you. So, we got 11 scientists missing now. People are wondering, mysterious circumstances. Speaking of mysterious circumstances, what do you always hear from the Democrats? We got tax the rich. Oh, then you get Bernie Sanders out there. We don't want to be a country that is governed by a bunch of billionaire oligarchs. We do not want to have the billionaire oligarchs. They're the worst among us are the billionaire oligarchs. Wow. Look who just got endorsed by an anti-billionaire organization in California. Yeah, you're exactly right. Exactly right. What is it? The organization is called Our Revolution. They're an anti-billionaire group that has officially endorsed Tom Steyer, a billionaire, to be the governor of California. Does somebody make that make sense? Our revolution says we've never endorsed a billionaire, but Tom Steyer is using his position to upset the system. Yeah, you know what? There's another billionaire out there that's using his position to upset the system, and that's Donald John Trump. Speaking of Donald Trump, it looks like we have extended the deadline again. I think this is a bad move. Bad move. President Trump posted this just a few minutes ago based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. I have therefore directed our military to continue the blockade and in all other respects remain ready and able, and will therefore extend the ceasefire until such time as their proposal is submitted and discussions are concluded one way or another. Okay, but here's the thing. They are wait a minute. So you've got the people that Jared Kushner and all these people are J.D. Vance and all these people are negotiating with, and then you've got the IRGC. Well, the IRGC is never going to agree to anything but death to America. That's their motto, death to America. So anything short of death to America to the IRGC is moot. It doesn't matter. You can bring it up all you want to. They're the ones that don't. You see, what they're trying to do is they're trying to save face, and they can't. They can't save face. They're looking for some way, some out to say, we won the war. we defeated the great Satan. We defeated Donald Trump. There is no way to do that right now. There's absolutely no way. So they're trying to stretch this out until they can think of a way. Any small victory that they can claim is what they're looking for. So you know what? I trust President Trump, but in this case, I don't think it's going to matter a hill of beans. You're just postponing the inevitable. And Mr. President, we got oil at $94 a barrel right now. $94. We've got the midterms coming up. This thing needs to get over with, and it needs to be resolved as quickly as humanly possible. WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. We'll be right back with Congressman William Timmons. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hitting truth bombs longer than he drives off the tee.
It's the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Let your fingers do the talking.
Text the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line at 800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
I know it doesn't get a whole lot of press these days because it just seems like a normal thing now, but we are still in a government shutdown. Joining us right now is Congressman William Timmons. How long have we been in this thing? Welcome to the program, sir.
Charlie, good afternoon. It seems like forever.
Yeah.
Luckily, the president has taken the steps he has to pay the Department of Homeland Security, and the Republican Congress here is about to take steps to fund them for at least 3 years, possibly longer. So, you know, it's incredible to me that we're continuing to have this armed conflict in the Middle East with the single largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. Joe Biden let 20 million people across the southern border last 4 years. We don't know who's here. And the Democrats are like, we're not going to fund our Homeland Security. So it really is just, it's sad, but I think that they're going to regret this in the midterms.
So is this, or what we're talking about here, is this, what is it called here? Reconciliation 2.0?
That's correct. And so we're hoping to wrap this up in early May. The president's ability to pay Homeland Security using extraordinary measures is going to run out. They're simply out of money.
Yeah.
So we have to basically use reconciliation to fix this problem, and the Democrats are not willing to help. So we do not need them this pathway, but it does take time. We have to get through the Senate, and we're hoping to finish it up here in the House in early May.
Now, the National Taxpayer Alliance is saying Reconciliation 2.0, a great chance to cut spending. Anybody in Congress talking about cutting spending in this bill?
So you really can't do that. It has to be neutral. So you have to have offsets.
Okay.
That's the whole purpose of reconciliation. So, I mean, we can definitely reduce spending that will then expire, but I think the biggest challenge is finding the pay-fors. That's what we refer to them as pay-fors. So
yeah,
we're hoping that this is close to $100 billion, and we need to find the budget cuts. So we are going to be cutting, but we're going to be spending. So the whole idea is that it zeroes out.
Yeah. So you say, all right, we're gonna cut back on our internet speed. But we're going to increase the cost of cable, right? It's kind of that sort of a decision that you have to make.
Yeah, it's just pretty much. I mean, that's the thing. We can't not fund our border security. We can't not fund ICE. We can't not fund TSA. We can't not fund all of these critical government functions. And so we're basically going to go find some savings through waste, fraud, and abuse. We're going to continue to root out all of this corruption. And we're going to balance our checkbook. I mean, we're still spending trillions of dollars every year we don't have.
Yeah.
But we're going to sharpen the pencil in what is essentially a rounding error to make sure that the money that is being spent as appropriately as possible.
So everybody's wondering about the one big beautiful bill. It seems like the Senate leader John Thune has lost interest in this. He said if nothing else pops up, he might consider taking it up. Is there any action that you guys in the House are looking at to try to get the Save America Act passed?
Well, we've already passed it, and the Senate is basically refusing to take it up. And Leader Thune is saying that because he doesn't have the votes. And I would rather watch them flail about and have the Democrats say why they refuse to vote for it. That's my perspective. Sit there and force the Democrats to say we're not going to vote for having voter ID. We're not going to vote you have to prove you're a citizen to vote. I mean, these are all just basic things. 85% of the American people believe that it should occur. So I'd rather put them on the record and let them talk about all these ridiculous things.
But that's not really what's happening, because a lot of Republicans are going, you know what? They could pass this if they wanted. All they got to do is eject the filibuster, which is the first thing the Democrats are going to do when they get back into power, and go ahead and get this agenda done.
They don't have the votes to get rid of the filibuster. That's
He
the
says,
majority vote.
all right, well, then you got to go back to what is a leader and what is a leader able to do. And if John Thune can't get the job done, he needs to go too.
Well, Tom Tillis is not up for re-election. He's not going to vote for it. Murkowski is not going to vote for it. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's probably 4 or 5 different Republicans. McConnell would never vote to do a filibuster. I mean, there's just 4 or 5 Republicans that are not going to go along with doing away with filibuster. But I mean, even if we just went back to the talking filibuster, I think that that if you believe that this is such bad policy, stand up and tell the people why.
Yeah, but they're not doing that. All right, Iran, President Trump has extended the deadline in Iran once again. We've seen several Iranian cargo ships this weekend. One may have had some weapons from China. Where do we stand right now in Iran?
Charlie, this is a minute by minute. It unfolds, it changes. And I mean, I saw the president's statement just when you did about an hour ago. And I mean, I think the last card we have to play is to start taking out bridges and start taking out infrastructure. And I guess the president is reluctant to do that. That would set their country back, I mean, decades. And so they're basically, that's our last chip to play. And so the president's going to give them time to reconstitute their government since we've killed all of their elected leaders. Whatever, they're not elected leaders.
Yeah.
The leaders, we've killed all of the leaders of their country. So they're going to reconstitute government, and they're going to then create a system through which we can try to negotiate. So
we hope they're going to do that. Now,
are.
One thing that we have seen, we saw it down in Venezuela, we've seen it in Iran. This United States military is not the same military as was under Joe Biden. And we've got, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. He's talking about the fitness level of our military. You've got a roundtable on military fitness coming up, don't you?
We do tomorrow. And this is a very important thing. I mean, our society as a whole is failing as it relates to healthcare. And the ability to field a volunteer military is critical. And very few Americans, over 70%, are not able to serve in the military because they're not healthy enough. And so one of the things we're talking about is just readiness, generally health. And then the physical fitness tests keep changing. They've changed them like 6 times in the Air Force in the last 5 years. So I just want to understand what the plan is. And we've got a couple of great participants in the roundtable tomorrow, and we're gonna be talking about it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Give me an example of some of the requirements for the military that you guys are looking for.
Well,
do they include
every
burpees?
Service,
do you have to do burpees?
There's actually no burpees in any military fitness test. Okay. There's running, there's push-ups, there's sit-ups. The Marines have pull-ups, and the Army has a whole bunch of other weird stuff. But again, I mean, I think 20, 30 years ago, it was just running, push-ups, sit-ups, and then some people had pull-ups. And now we just keep changing it. We keep reducing the standards. And it's the whole thing is just, there needs to be more reason to it. And I think this is an important part because the physical fitness test is the metric through which you deem whether people are actually ready to go to war. And so it's confusing when you keep changing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is very confusing. All right, Congressman William Timmons, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon, sir. Thank you.
Be well. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Burpee. Have you ever done a burpee? I have never done a burpee. And I can honestly say I've never done a burpee, and I'm not going to do one. That's just it. So, all right, WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. Charlie, I can't think of a better time to blow up Iran's bridges and power plants than Earth Day. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, my goodness. Charlie is an American citizen. I say let's level that place. I'm tired of playing games. Show the world that we are willing to do what we're willing to do and move forward in this story with Iran. You know what? Yeah. This, and again, but here's, and I understand what President Trump's doing, all right? Although, on that visceral level, I don't agree with it, but he's trying to exhaust all diplomatic avenues that he can before he does what he's planning on doing. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
honest views, trusted news. This is The Charlie James Show.
On News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
When you've got literally the vast majority of the American people that want, and I'm not talking about just Republicans. I'm talking about Republicans, Democrats, African Americans, Hispanics. Everybody agrees that we should do something about our elections. You got to make sure that only American citizens vote in our elections. And the only way that you can do that is to have people prove that they're an American citizen. This is just, I mean, it literally is absolute common sense, isn't it? But yet nothing is getting done in the Senate. Let's go to Reed in Pickens and talk to him real quick. Reed, welcome.
Hey, well, I wasn't going to talk about that.
That's okay. Talk about what you want to talk about, man. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay. Well, we were talking about the Iran war, and the thing that bothers me about these ceasefires is these guys are devout Muslims in their theocracy, and so they have this taqiyya, or however you pronounce it,
right,
that says, I can lie to an infidel. So you can't believe anything they say, and we have history with the Chinese in the Korean War, where every so often they would say, oh, we need a ceasefire. And so we do a ceasefire. The North Koreans and the Chinese would reinforce their position and attack us. And then we'd get out of a ceasefire. And then after a month or whatever, we'd do it again.
Yeah.
And we did this over and over and over. So with that history and those facts, you can't believe anything these people say.
No, you're exactly right, Reed. Exactly right. And we'll see. Hopefully the president's right on this. But let's get back to the Senate. So instead of doing, now right now, again, we have got the now longest partial shutdown in American history, come immediately off of the largest full government shutdown in American history. And you've got Republicans in the Senate that are literally, and this is what they're doing, they're trying to protect the Democrats. They're not thinking about the future because they know exactly, listen, if I can come up with this, and me, if I can say, hey, you know what? The moment the Democrats get back in power, guess what they're going to do? They're going to do away with the filibuster. Certainly somebody that's been in the Senate for several decades knows it's like they haven't met these people. And the truth is, they haven't met these people. The Democrats today are vastly different. So I think these so-called Republicans in the Senate are waxing nostalgic for the good old days when you can reason with a Democrat. But now, the Republicans, because, see, unless something gets done, we are literally at a stalemate. If we lose the midterms, President Trump is a 2-year lame duck president. Well, that's not going to change a whole lot. Why not? Because he's been a lame duck president since the day he was elected. We've had a record, just about a record low amount of bills go to the president's desk from the Senate, if not a record. It's pathetic. But John Thune says if nothing more if nothing more pressing comes up, we'll think about looking at the Save America. If nothing more important comes up, tell me what you've done. Lindsey Graham's out there. He's got all these ads talking about, hey, when I'm elected, not that, but if you elect me, I will. I'm going to have this no sanctuary city bill. If you can't get the SAVE Act passed, if you can't get the government open, Lindsey Graham, my question for you is, and God, I wish somebody would ask him about it. What makes you think you're going to get a no sanctuary cities bill passed? Hell, you might as well just promise the moon. Because you know that's not going to get done either. So now the Republicans, they've got an idea. They've got an idea. An idea that they hope is going to help them win the midterms. And that's got to do with the Supreme Court. So instead of, listen to this, instead of doing their job, my grandfather told me something one time. He said, instead of learning the tricks of the trade, learn the trade. And that makes a lot of sense. Learn the trade first. They haven't learned the trade. So now what they're doing is they're planning on using the Supreme Court and the possible retirement of Justice Samuel Alito to get people to vote for him. That's the big plan. That's the plan the Senate has to win the elections and keep their power in the midterms. Well, here's what we're going to do. Now, we're not going to try to push Samuel Alito out, but what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hint that he's going to be retiring, and Donald Trump is going to have another Supreme Court nominee. And if the Democrats win, well, that's just going to be another liberal on the court. They're trying to use the tricks of the trade instead of learning the trade. Instead of doing what they're supposed to be doing in passing substantive legislation in D.C., they're trying to pull a Hail Mary. Instead of just going for the first down, they try the flea flicker. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Now, again, they're not going to try to get Alito to retire, but they're going to start floating. Now, you're going to hear that. You're going to start, well, you know, Alito, he could be retiring. Y'all better vote for us, because if not, we're going to have another liberal on the Supreme Court. Well, you know what's going to happen to the Supreme Court the moment the Democrats get back in. They're going to pack it. You watch. They didn't have quite enough votes to do it last time. But they're going to do away with the filibuster. And they're going to pack the Supreme Court. And they're going to get their agenda passed, although it will be vetoed by the president. But hell, they won't even be worried about passing legislation. They're going to be too busy trying to impeach Donald Trump. That's all you're going to have. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD,
the voice of the Carolinas.
text, or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Jake in Mills River. How you doing, Jake?
Oh, it's going great. Got to be on the water today.
All right, good for you, bud. Good for you. What's up?
Well, I think that voter ID makes a lot of sense. You need to be able to account for the people who voted. You need to be able to say who it was that actually voted. But I think that it needs to go one step further to really be protecting our elections.
Okay.
I think that it should include that these documents, whether it's an ID or a passport, whatever is going to be required, a real ID, it should be furnished for free and quickly through the government.
I don't have a problem with that, but that is not like if you need you're talking about like your birth certificate?
I think that whatever form of ID is going to be accepted, right now I pay money for my ID when I get, if I get a passport, I haven't gotten one in a few years, a couple $100. That's a significant investment. And you can't require anybody to purchase something in order to vote. So if we want to shore up our elections by requiring ID, we need to shore up our ID system by making it available and free and easy, really easy, like sent to you free.
I'm wondering, because I know there are certain IDs that you can get for free. Let me just double checking on this.
Well, do you see the extension of why that would?
No, I know. I do. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't have a problem with free IDs. I mean, if I'm getting a driver's license, I feel like I've already paid for that with my taxes. So yeah, I'm all right. I'll go with that.
And then it's a little bone to the liberals too, a little socialism mixed in with the election.
There you go. But yeah, that is tax dollars at work. I appreciate it, Jake. Thank you, buddy. Let's go. Who are we going to? Wait a minute. Got to put you. Oh, I think I hung up on you. No, I didn't. JJ got you before I hung up on you. Didn't mean to hang up on you. Just got a little. All right, we got Michael in Morganton. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing all right.
All right.
I just wanted to ask you something about, you said that the IRG claiming victory, that would not happen. But, if Trump extends it too far to where we have to declare war for him to be able to keep going and things, and I'm not sure we got enough people in Congress to stomach, voting for war.
Yeah.
And things. And they'll declaim a victory there if they get the chance.
And that, you know what, that might be the plan. And like I said before, what they're counting on are the Democrats and the Rhino Republicans to hand them, to stop Donald Trump, because they can't do it. So our Congress is going to have to do it. So you're right about that, Michael. I appreciate it, buddy. Larry is in Cleveland County. Larry, what's going on with you, man?
This is your pirate brother, son.
Arr, matey. We ought to fly that Jolly Roger in the Gulf, in the Strait. Yep, what's up?
You bet. Hey, I just want to ask you a question. You have any intel about Tampon Tim and some other governor going to Spain and spewing out American hatred? Have you got any intel on that?
Yeah, Tim Walz said that he was actually kind because he didn't say all the things that he wanted to say.
Oh, he's kind, right?
Yeah,
so
he was.
Wants to have tampons in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, probably right. Probably
hey, so
right.
Can't we revoke his citizenship since he loves them so much and just leave him the hell there?
I wish we could start revoking a lot of people's citizenship. I really do.
Love you, Charlie.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, Tim Walz go over to Spain, slams Trump, and they're going to Spain to do it. Now, why was Tim Walz over in Spain? Anybody wonder? Why was Chris Murphy over in Spain? Anybody wonder about that? Would you like to know? Because Spain, they now have an alliance. They recently signed an alliance with China when they refused to let us use our military bases. their military bases. So now Spain, and who is the biggest advocate of China in the country, other than Joe and Hunter Biden? Tim Walz. How many times did Tim Walz go to China? Supposedly as a teacher, blah, blah, blah. How many times did he go? Plenty. He was constantly over there. So he goes over to Spain. Let me tell you something. If you are a member of our government and you go to another country and you let me ask you something. How many of them come over here and badmouth their own country? That's how bad Trump derangement syndrome is. That not only do they want to try to do damage to Donald Trump here in the United States, they want to try to do damage to him internationally. And they are, you know what they need? They need the Dixie Chicks treatment. Remember when what's her name? Natalie Maines went over, they were over in England. She said, we are very, we're embarrassed that George W. Bush is the president of the United States. What happened to them? They got gone. Country radio said, enough of you. Because why? Because country radio listeners had had enough of them. Man, if you just imagine what their careers would have been like had they not done something that idiotic. But that's what they are. They're the modern-day Dixie Chicks with Tim Walz and Chris Murphy. Pretty unbelievable. Pretty unbelievable. So, Tim Walz, the guy that wants to put tampons in boys' bathrooms. Unbelievable. All right, WRD Talk Line, 800-9050-989. That's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. I'm going to bring this up again tomorrow, but there's something going on I really want you to know about. The folks over at Homeopath, they have a fundraiser going on because they're trying to get their own K9 unit. And if you would like to donate to that cause, building a K9 unit is very expensive. So over at Homeopath, they've got a fundraiser. You can go to donorbox.org. That's donorbox.org. Look up Homeopath PD K9, and that should take you to the link. I love K9 units. I think they're absolutely great. So if you want to donate to that, definitely get involved. Let's go to Robert in Greenville and talk to him. Robert, welcome.
Oh, man, you just mentioned the name Tim Walz. I had to call.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see him at the National Democracy Federation meeting in Spain night before last?
Yeah.
I can't believe he's so pitiful. He has to go all the way to Spain to get somebody to listen to him.
Yeah.
And I couldn't take it. My wife said, why are you acting so weird? I said, well, he's the one that's got like 100,000 people stealing $10 million a month.
Right.
And I said, he had to go to Spain to get someone to listen.
That's right.
And you were talking about our politicians. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. They need to get off all the TV shows. They need to show their butt up. They need to do their job.
Exactly.
And I once again nominate you to be in charge of it, and I'll leave you with that thought.
Well, I appreciate it, Robert. Thank you, buddy. You take care. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour on The Charlie James Show. Afternoons 3 to 7 on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas. Charlie Speaks.
You listen on your time.
Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989.
The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the WORD talk line. We'll talk to Kathy in Spartanburg. How you doing, Kathy?
Hey, Charlie. How are you doing?
I'm great. What's up?
Awesome. Well, one of your callers earlier was talking about having IDs to vote.
Yeah.
I don't know if most of South Carolina knows, but you can get a free South Carolina state ID at the DMV. You could even get a real ID, but there's no fee for it if you're of voting age. So that should not, inhibit anybody from being able to vote because they can get that. So it's really easy.
Exactly right. It is easy. I appreciate it, Kathy. Thank you. I thought that was the case, but I wanted to make double sure. So thank you very much, Kathy. You know, it's we got a lot of schools in this country, and some of them are starting to get some age on them, right? Starting to get a little age happening. And when you got that many kids going up and down the halls, it starts to get a little rundown after a few years. And that's exactly what's happening at Park Center High School near Minneapolis. Park Center High School, they are getting a renovation. Listen to this.
Big changes are on the way for Park Center High School. As Delane Cleveland reports, the school will undergo its first major renovation in 15 years.
Every day, more than 1,900 students pack into Park Center Senior High. The school opened in 1971, and according to district officials, its bones are in good shape.
So it's actually functionally a really, really solid building.
John Morstead is Osceo's finance and operations director, yet even he admits that the school could use some touching up. From the cafeteria's black floor to the tech ed room that used to be an auto shop, change has been a long time coming.
Our district wants the students at Park Center to have the same feeling that a student at Osseo has, that a student at Maple Grove has of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're going to go in, they're going to repaint, probably going to, it's $43 million worth of renovation at Park Center High School. New paint, new floors, probably maybe some new lockers, Muslim prayer room. They're going to have a new tech building. That will be awesome. What did I say something that surprised you? Oh, were you shocked to find out that Park Center Senior High School near Minneapolis is going to have a Muslim prayer room? Yes. That's exactly what they're going to have. Not only that, they're going to have a foot washing station in the prayer room, complete with prayer rugs, by the way, for their Muslim students. That's what they're having. That's part of the $43 million renovation. Now, are there Jewish prayer rooms? No. Why would you think? No. Are there Christian prayer rooms? No, you can't. No. Separation of church and state. You can't. Oh, you can't do that. That would be a state sanctioned religion. Oh, no. Muslim prayer room? Oh, yeah, that'd be a good idea. That is what, and Tim Walz has the audacity to go to Spain and slam President Trump? Give me a break. $43 million. They say this is undoubtedly for Muslim students only. I mean, foot washing, not a big thing in the Christian community. Foot washing, not a big thing in the Jewish community. Muslim community, big thing. So, let's see if they put the 10 Commandments up. Let's see if they do. Now, the Quran that calls for jihad, that's completely acceptable. Honor your father and your mother? No, can't have that. Let's go to Wendell in Kings Mountain. Wendell, welcome.
Yes, sir.
This is my first time calling, everyday listener.
Well, you're going to get the bell. There you go, man. What's up?
I had a thought for Mr. Trump. If these birds over there keep jerking him around at 12:01 Thursday morning a.m., I would go ahead and take out their bridges and some of their main roads to towns, and they're not taking out the utilities, but they're taking out the roads and bridges, making them a little tougher to get around.
You know what I would do? Here's what I would do. First day, this is not my idea how to text or do this. First day, 1 bridge. Second day, 2 bridges. Third day, 3 bridges. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? That's a great idea.
So I appreciate it, Wendell. Thank you very much. Yeah. Show that you're not playing with these people. Give them a little of what is I for some reason I've watched the movie Smokey and the Bandit probably 100 times, and I'm not even exaggerating. So Buford T. Justice, one of my favorite characters, he goes up and he kicks the guy in the butt, right? He goes, "That's an attention getter." That's what I would do. You bomb that first bridge day 1, 2 bridges day 2, 3 bridges day 3. That's an attention getter. Maybe then you might be a little more motivated to come up with an agreement. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of non-stop breaking news and stimulating talk jumpstarts every hour on the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9
WORD,
the voice of the Carolinas.
Tap and type your message on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Somebody said, hey, Charlie, I caught the last part of your school story. Thought you said Park City School upgrade would include a prayer room and a foot washing station? That's exactly what I said. All the trappings of Islam. How about that? I thought you couldn't do that. I mean, my goodness, when you have, these things like rally around the flag or you get organizations trying to get out there and have, a prayer day at school. Oh, what happened? Oh, the ACLU, they jump all over it. They file lawsuits. They get lawyers active on these things. But no, can't do that with Islam. That's a no-no. Islam must be protected in Minnesota at all cost. 800-9050-989. That's the WRD talk line. It's also the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line. So we just got word that the Senate has passed an advancement vote to fund the Department of Homeland Security, ICE, and Border Patrol, and they did it through reconciliation. All this needs is 50 votes. 50 votes plus J.D. Vance to pass. That means we can lose all of the Democrats and 3 Republicans for all of it. You see how that works? That works good. That's the same thing we can do with nuking the filibuster. But John Thune won't do that. We'll talk about John Thune coming up in just a second. I want to get to Vinny in Boiling Springs. Vinny, what's on your mind?
Hey, Charlie, how are you?
I'm good, bud. What's happening?
Hey, I got a question. The ones with the Chinese, well, I love Trump for stopping and saying that it was like a gift from China. Instead of it going toward the Iranians, I think it should go toward the Iranian Persian people who want to fight, and it'd be a gift from them instead of it going to those terrorists, which is kind of divert. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And as far as this school stuff there, can't you put a lawsuit against that school for bringing religion into the schools? So that's why they put it way back when.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if this were a Christian prayer room or a Jewish prayer room, ACLU would have been all over it.
Well, we should stand up for ourselves, and somebody put a lawsuit against it. Their kids are going to put a lawsuit against. Even got class action against that school for introducing that.
But you know what? I mean, and I understand the sentiment of that, but that would literally be cutting off your nose to spite your face. Because then they could come back and say, well, see, we can't have the Muslim prayer room. You can't have your prayer. I know, and I understand. Well, like I said, I understand what you were talking about, but
Charlie, they always said they would do it through our schools, and this is how they're doing it.
Yeah.
If I got to take a scar on the face, all right, I'll take the scar on the face. You can't have it. We're definitely going to stop it from being taught to our kids.
Yeah.
We have to move forward and watch this.
You're exactly right. Well, I appreciate it. I hit the button too soon. I'm sorry. If you go back and you look at the communist goals, and I know we go to this a lot because it's important. Communist goals of 1963. Look this up. It's real easy to do. And you look at, and you just do a word search for schools. It's number 17. Get control of the schools. Use them as transmission belts for socialism and current communist propaganda. Soften the curriculum. Get control of Teachers Association. Put the party line in textbooks. Number 18. Gain control of all student newspapers. Number 19. Use student riots to foment public protest against programs or organizations which are under communist attack. Let's go to Lisa in Williamston. Lisa, what's on your mind this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what happened with the Democrats' diversity, equity, and inclusion.
It was only certain people were included in that. Inclusion didn't mean everybody.
Oh, just the transgenders, not
Yeah.
the normals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's exactly right. It's just those folks. I don't even, they're not transgender anymore, are they? What are they? I'm sorry, what are they called now?
MMIW G2SLGBTQIA+.
That's what they're called now, I guess. I suppose so. So anyway, all right, so let's get back to John Thune for just a second, because again, the Senate has voted an advancement bill to basically stop the government shutdown. But John Thune could also do this with the Save America Act. Thing is, he doesn't want to. Now, John Thune was elected to deliver results as the Senate majority leader. But he's running the bottleneck now. Bills have been flying out of the House of Representatives. Then they hit the Senate and they stop. Because Thune is prioritizing the process over the outcome. He treats the filibuster as sacred. He chases some sort of a bipartisan decorum. And he waits for a consensus that just does not exist. So since January the 20th of 2025, we've had the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act sitting in the Senate over a year. The SAVE Act passed the House April 10th of 2025. Disaster-related Extension of Deadlines Act sitting idle. The Guidance Bill, no action. Dozens of House-passed bills are sitting untouched. The filibuster's not being challenged. There's no pressure campaigns to force the votes. There's no procedural warfare to break the gridlock. No. We're just going to sit there, going to wait for the 60 votes. We're going to try to do what we can through reconciliation, but not all of these things are under reconciliation. The House is producing. The Senate is failing. Chuck Schumer is never just going to hand over votes. There's not going to be any come to Jesus meeting about bipartisanship. If your strategy depends on the Democrats, then you don't have a strategy. And John Thune does not have a strategy. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
When he's not mowing his yard, he's mowing down liberal nonsense. It's the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9
WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Hey, Charlie.
Let's talk.
It's the right talk.
Charlie.
Welcome. This is the Charlie James Show.
Now we're talking.
News Talk 98.9.
WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
And welcome back to the program. Let's go to Brad in Lawrence. Brad, welcome.
How's it going?
It's going.
Brennan, by the way, I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I think someone misheard you. Oh, I said it's Brennan. Brennan Carroll.
Oh, Brennan, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm
Yes, sir.
doing good, sir. How about you?
I'm doing great. What's up?
Well, well, first I just want to say hi, Mom, hi, Dad, in case you're listening, because I know they love listening to that 8.9. But
Appreciate it.
But also, you were talking about the college campuses and I guess like the progressive takeover of the campuses. And I just wanted to drive home a point that a lot of people are they feel very black-pilled about this, very like, oh, I don't want to go to college if it's just going to be progressive and this and that and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also important to say that, you really need to go to these colleges to change them. You need to gain political capital within the colleges. You need to do the same thing that the left did to the colleges, essentially. You need to take a little bit from their playbook, and there needs to be institutional capture on the right side.
So how do you do that? How do you do that, Brad, when you've got the entire staff, the faculty, the student body, and you are in a very small minority? How do you overcome that? That's a lot of pressure for a college student.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm a freshman at Presbyterian College, and I'm the founder and president of the Presbyterian College Conservatives.
Good for you.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know I was talking to a celebrity. Oh, well, good for you, man. So how is it? I mean, Presbyterian College, they had that professor speaking out against, with Charlie Kirk and all of that stuff. What's daily life like at Presbyterian College?
It's very it's a chaotic situation, but the funny part is you'll find a lot of unlikely allies in certain aspects. It's really about coalition building, and in terms of getting institutional power, just talk to the alumni. There are a surprising amount of staff and administration that are kind of on your side in the schools. That it's just a lot of them are scared to reach out. A lot of them are scared to talk.
That was going to be my next question. Are there more conservatives? Quiet conservatives on college campuses than we actually realize?
Yeah, I think so, especially in the more hard sciences when you're talking about like biology, chemistry, or even business, economics, those kind of fields. You get a lot of conservatives, but a lot of them are just very nervous and anxious about sharing their political beliefs because, the truth is, SGA is mostly left-leaning, student government,
right,
and then also student media. And so what I've decided when I got here in the first day was that, we needed to take over student media. We needed to take over SGA. And, that's what I've been doing. I actually have a radio show of my own at the college station.
Yeah.
And we've also been, we've been interviewing people. We got Paul Danz over a couple weeks ago before he dropped out.
Right.
And we got.
What's the response to that been like? Good?
It's been okay. It's been okay.
Yeah. It'll take a while.
It will take a while. I mean, everybody gets the same, threats about trying to get you expelled and worse and, things like that. But it's been pretty good.
So that's, good for you. But I mean, so I love what you're doing. Did you find that after the Charlie Kirk assassination, more people were willing to reach out to you?
I've actually found the opposite a little bit. I'm
really?
not going to lie. Yes, it got a lot more heated because what happened was I tried to start my club way before I even got here. Actually, over summer break, I submitted my documents to the administration, and they said it looked good. But after the Charlie Kirk incident, after the assassination, I went to go to the SGA meeting for my club, and political climate is very, very, very tense, and so they didn't want me in because they were worried that I was going to be extremist because I wasn't under the Republican Party, So I kind of I made my own constitution. I'm not following the normal Republican Party because of, people like Lindsey Graham and things like that. I didn't want to feel forced to endorse them. And so, it's just stuff like that. Also, I was a bit of an unknown. I'm a commuter, so I don't really get to talk to people as much as someone who stays on campus. And I'm a freshman and a lot of different factors.
Well, man, so you're a freshman there, but you're already making a difference. Brennan, I want you to do me a favor. Send me your email. My email is charlie@989word.com. That's charlie@989word.com. I'd love to stay in touch with you.
Okay. Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay. Brennan, I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you very much. Let's go to Brad in Salem. Brad, welcome.
Yes, sir, Charlie. I want to thank you for a conversation you had just a little bit ago, and you were talking about the Freedom Index score and all of that. It prompted me a few weeks ago. I had I'm in Oconee County, South Carolina, District 1, and our rep is Bill Whitmire. I had sent to him an email about 3 or 4 weeks ago asking, why aren't you a member of the South Carolina Freedom Caucus? And he came back with this, well, I'm a member of the even larger Republican caucus, and we've saved money on the roads and blah, blah, blah.
You mean Bill Whitmire, who's got a Freedom Index score of 36?
Well, what I was going to say was that prompted me to finally find all these places. And yes, he's Freedom Index of 33.
Yeah.
And Club for Growth South Carolina State Economic Scoreboard Lifetime 32%.
Wow. He's a true conservative.
I've sent back to him and told him in no uncertain terms, I don't like being lied to.
Yeah.
Because I'm a conservative, and you've been claiming every election how conservative you are, and so you finally made me go look. A quick story: I was in South Georgia several years ago. We were doing a bridge dedication for a guy who we lost in Vietnam, and the rep there who had sponsored it, he and I were talking, and I said, "I thought you were a Democrat." And he said, well, I was for years, but I'm a Republican now because that's the only way I get reelected.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem we've got. The Republicans should say, no, if you haven't voted for 10 years as a Republican, you cannot be in our party.
Yeah.
That's up to them. They take these people and say, look, we got another one. No, you didn't. You got another rhino.
Yep, you're exactly right. So
I'm tired. So anyway, I responded to Mr. Whitmire that in no uncertain terms that I'll vote for a yellow dog Democrat or whatever in the future, because at least I know what they are.
Yeah, and I always say the Republicans can do something to you the Democrats can't, and that's betray you.
Isn't that the truth?
Right. Hey, Brad, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Going to take a quick break. You know what? Let's forget that. Let's go to Sam in Bowling Springs. Sam, welcome.
Hi there, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm great, bud. What's going on?
Well, I hear you talking a lot about Lindsey Graham, and I was wanting to know if you or anyone in the listening field have heard of Thomas Dismukes, who's running for Senate also. He's out of York County.
Thank you so much, because I saw him over on one of the social media posts, and let me just you know what? Because I wanted to reach out to him and actually get him on the show, because he's running a very grassroots campaign, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Very grassroots. Exactly right. This is his first time, and he's putting everything out there he can to get some attention and just do some good exposure.
Yeah.
But I've got some contact information after we get off the line if you want it, or on the air either way.
Well, here's what I would love for you to do. Email me, charlie@989word.com. Okay?
Okay.
All right. You just email me, and I will reach out to him, and I'll get him on the program. I appreciate it, Sam. Thank you. I was racking my brain trying to remember his name today over lunch. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Streaming stimulating talk and breaking news on your phone 24/7 on the Odyssey app. You're on the drive with the Charlie James Show.
News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Chat with Charlie.
800-905-0989. Save it on your phone.
This is the Charlie James Show, only on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Somebody is telling me, and they will remain anonymous, that there is a Muslim prayer room over at that Spartanburg District 5 is allowing Muslims to have prayer rooms. Guys, let me know. Let me know if that is actually happening. Remember, if you got any tips or anything like that, a really good way is to email me, charlie@989WORD.com. That's 989WORD.com. Let's go to Doug in Simpsonville. Doug, welcome.
Hey, Charlie, good talking to you again.
Yes, sir.
There's a couple things that are bothering me, particularly today. I think the administration needs to go scorched earth on a couple of issues. The latest development in this whole Iran thing is really worries me. The announcement of the extension of the ceasefire.
Right.
And let me read exactly what Trump said, because to me it's I have a hard time with it.
Okay.
So I'm beginning to think he needs to re-examine some of his advisors, because we all know Trump's character, but he I can't read it right now. My cell phone is updating.
It always happens, doesn't it? But yeah, he said. Okay. Okay.
So now I'm sorry I don't have it.
Okay.
Anyway, the gist of what he said is based on discussions with a field marshal in Pakistan who asked him to extend the truce. He's done so for an indefinite period of time, because what they've said is, since the government of Iran is fractured, which I personally do not believe.
You don't believe so? You don't. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's address that. You don't believe that there are two different factions right now having
I believe there are multiple factions, but I believe
shootless. Can I finish my thought here for just a second? These factions are having what is called a non-shooting civil war right now. And they're trying to figure out who's going to be in charge. You got the IRGC. They've got a lot of power because they've got the weapons. And then you've got the other people that Trump has been negotiating with, and they're a little more reasonable than the IRGC. But go ahead.
You need to look, Charlie, at the previous history of these supposedly reasonable people. They are hardcore 12er.
Okay. Well, let me ask you something. If Donald Trump goes in there and he starts bombing, what are the first thing the Democrats are going to say?
I don't want him to bomb the things he's talking about. What I want to know.
Then what do you want him to do?
Why did his advisors not understand that Iran would close the Gulf and take the actions necessary to open it?
They did understand that. Did you not see why all of those ships were amassing over in Oman?
The strait is not fully open.
No, it's not fully open. We blockaded it.
No, that blockade applies only to Iran. It doesn't apply to Bahrain, Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so all right, Doug, just get to your point. What's your point here? Donald Trump, big failure?
Let me, before you interrupted me, I was about to get there. Here's the point.
Okay.
Here's the point.
Finally.
What Trump said is, until that factionalized government can put a unified proposal on the table, he is extending the truce until that time. What does that mean? Now, Donald Trump already said today that he's well aware that they're using this time to dig out their missiles, to refurbish, to get ready to fight some more.
Right.
So why are we giving them that time?
Because we're just going to bomb the hell out of them. They can get as ready as they want to. They were ready day one, and that didn't do them any good. They were ready. They were ready when they got everybody in their government basically all together in one room. They were ready on that day, and they all went to, their 70 virgins all together.
The fact is, the Gulf is not open, and I believe Hexas needs to go to his advisors, and a few heads should roll, because we should have been able to take out all of those 800 missile-armed speedboats and a lot of this other stuff that's down there that is inexpensive, that's dispersed, and that does not seem to be the plan. So first Trump was saying, well, if maybe the Europeans can go open the Gulf.
Yeah, because they're the ones that benefit from it.
So we're going to go in, bomb the crap out of Iran, not decapitate the government to the point where the people can take over, and leave the Gulf closed. And you think that's acceptable?
Would you think it's not acceptable for us to expect expect Europe to have some sort of skin in the game?
It's not just Europe; it's the Philippines.
Okay, whoever, other countries. Let's just put it that way. You know what? I'm tired of the conversation. Sorry. Let's go to Roger in Taylor's. Roger, welcome.
Mr. Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Finally, it seems like every time I call you, I follow the best call of the day, and I'm sitting there on hold.
Finally, we got whatever that was.
I'm like, finally.
Yeah, I don't. I believe that he has called before and said we shouldn't even be over in Iran to begin with, and now he wants Donald Trump to bomb the hell out of him. So okay.
I told you 2 weeks ago that I didn't like the 2-week deal because it gets us closer to 60 days, and China's going to start pulling the purse strings in our government, and they're going to make us get out of there. I didn't like what I heard today with indefinite, but also
but let's hold on, because we think every time somebody says for an indefinite period that means a long time. It might not mean a long time.
What I was going to say is what we learned in football: when a college coach suspends a kid, he says indefinitely, and then he's back in 2 weeks.
Right, exactly.
And I have no clue what's going on over there. And I don't know Trump. You know him better than me. You talked to him. If he gives a timeline, then they're going to put those kids back at these bridges and power plants. It would not surprise me if we start bombing tomorrow, and because they think we're not, it'll save a lot of kids and women's lives.
Yeah.
Because they'll kill them if they don't go. They'll make them go.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They'll force them to go stand around those power plants and put them on those bridges. That might just be a really good ruse by President Trump to go, you know what? I've had enough of this, kind of like I did the last call, and let's move on. I want to go to Beverly. I appreciate it, Roger. Thank you very much. Let's go to Beverly. Beverly, welcome.
Hey, I think everybody is misunderstanding the term indefinitely. That could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
6 months from now, a week from now. Again, I don't understand everything Trump's doing because he's playing 3D chess and, I'm playing checkers. If he says indefinitely, knowing Trump's pattern, he already has a plan in place and a day and a time picked out, and it could be next week.
Yeah, you're right. It could be. It could be midnight tonight. We'll never know. I appreciate it, Beverly. Charlie, I'm a little behind. Didn't J.D. Vance go to meet with Iran to talk peace deals in Iran and Iran not show? Nope, you're exactly right. Iran did not show. So J.D. Vance and Jared Kushner and who's the other guy? I can't remember. They did not go over there because they weren't planning on showing up. Instead, they sent, I guess, a message through back channels asking for an extension. President said, okay, and we'll see where we go from here. We'll be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
15 minutes of breaking news and stimulating talk begins every hour, every afternoon on The Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas. Interact on the Common Sense Retirement Planning text line.
800-905-0989. Text or call. One number does it all.
800-905-0989.
This is the Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
Well, so we got Don Chapman has issued a statement about the Anderson County GOP censuring him. He said, oh boy. To listen to him talk, man, he is a true blue conservative. Now, he's got a Freedom Index score of 35 and less in other scoring websites. So this guy, Don Chapman, is like, look how conservative I am. I got a Freedom Index score of 35. I'm a true blue. Well, good. You should be censured. You absolutely should be. You want to hear just a couple of the things? I mean, this guy, just like, just about everybody else in our state legislature. They're just all, look how conservative I am. But when it comes down to it, not conservative. So Don Chapman, listen to this. This conservative gave $100 to liberal Democrat Marshall Meadors, who ran against Kevin Bryant in the South Carolina District 3 Senate race. $100. This conservative, Don Chapman, gave $1,000 to Kyle White back in 2024 to run against April Cromer in the Republican primary. This conservative, Don Chapman, voted to kick conservative members out of the Republican caucus, including House members from Anderson County, Thomas Beach, April Cromer, Lee Gilrath, and everybody who wouldn't take the loyalty oath. He voted against Amendment 9 of 4624 that would criminalize doctors who perform transgender surgery on minors. Voted against it. 4224, Amendment 10, Representative Beach proposed striking Section 2, withhold from a minor's parent or legal guardian information related to a minor's perception that his or her gender is inconsistent with his or her sex. Change that. He opposes cuts to budgetary spending increases, voted multiple times to give millions of taxpayer dollars to Hollywood film producers. Representative Cromer introduced an amendment to hold Tri-County Tech accountable for allowing men, including self-professed trans vampires, in the girls' room. He debated against that amendment, voted to give himself a pay raise, voted to raise the income tax on 24% of South Carolinians. So, yeah, doesn't really sound too conservative to me. Let's go to Christina in Travelers Rest. How you doing, Christina?
Okay. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. I wanted to go back about these quote-unquote negotiations. If you get a chance, pick up and read the book, Brian Kilmeade's book, Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. It's really germane, and you think going back that far to Thomas Jefferson's time, when the Muslim pirates in the Mediterranean Sea were attacking every boat in there, and making these supposed treaties so that they wouldn't, in other words, they were paying protection money so that these pirates wouldn't attack them, and then they attacked them anyway. So the point being, they never, ever adhered to treaties. So it's Brian Kilmeade's Thomas Jefferson and the Tripoli Pirates. So the J.D. Vance, Witkoff, they all need to read that book, and they also need to read the pertinent parts of the Quran, which say their goal in life is to trick and lie to the infidel.
Yeah, I think it's tikya. They call it tikya, where you can lie to an infidel.
Oh, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
You're supposed to lie to and trick the
Yeah.
infidels. Just like that guy said who threw the bombs in New York City. And the new NYPD interviewed him, and he said, this is what we do to the infidels.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure, Christina, I appreciate your call. I'm sure that they have got, I don't know the word for it, Quranic? I know it's like biblical scholar. Would it be a Quranic scholar? I'm sure they have some in the State Department that are well aware of the dealings of the Muslims as far as infidels are concerned. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's the Charlie James Show. News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
This is Mark Levin. Join me tonight at 7 following Charlie James for the Mark Levin Show, a News Talk 98.9 WORD, the voice of the Carolinas.
Charlie Speaks. You listen on your time. Get the show on demand. Text podcast to 800-905-0989. The Charlie James Show on News Talk 98.9 WORD.
The voice of the Carolinas.
All right, let's go to the phones. I want to talk to D in Thomasy. How you doing, D?
Doing good, Charlie. How are you, my friend?
I'm great, pal. What's on your mind?
Listen, I don't mean to take you off topic on this segment, but going back to some of your previous callers,
Yep.
I can understand the concern and anxiety of a lot of folks concerning the why Trump chose to delay.
Delay. That's a good word.
The ceasefire.
Yeah.
And I can also understand their concern with the fact that the time limit whereby Congress will have to authorize further action.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying.
Okay. I'm not smart enough myself to be an armchair quarterback, for sure. But you can bet that Trump and his advisors are well aware of the deadlines, and you can also be assured that he hasn't brought us this far in this operation without contingency plans in place.
Yeah, I know. Yes, that's very well put. You're exactly right. All of these things he has planned for, and they know what's going on. They really do. I'm not. Listen, they don't. Those aren't stupid people in the Joint Chiefs. The president's not stupid.
Exactly. So we've got to trust Trump and to see this thing out and be careful.
Yeah, we do. We've only got. I mean, early May. We're looking at is the 60-day deadline, and that's the thing. I mean, they know that. They know that's going on. So, D, I appreciate it, buddy. So. Yeah, let's go to Richard in Dallas. What's going on, buddy?
There's a lot, Charlie, but I want to talk to you about this, man. Our troops over there at the Strait, they diverted a barge that was headed to Asia or China. Yeah?
It was headed to Iran.
Okay.
And President Trump said it was probably from China. I think it was being a little obtuse there, but it apparently was carrying some weapons that he wasn't crazy about.
Okay, my point is these people, as suicidal as they are, they're just waiting for troops to board a ship, and then they'll blow it all to pieces.
That's probably something that they've thought of as well. I mean, what better way, right?
Yeah, I mean, Iran's not going to give up, man. They're not.
Well, let me tell you what would happen. Do you realize what would happen if they were to do that? There wouldn't be a scorched stone standing in Iran.
Wait a minute. Oh, you saying that Trump would do that?
Trump would if they were to rig a ship and we were to board that ship and they blew it up.
Yeah.
All hell would rain down on them.
All hell's going to rain down on them because I don't think, but I'm concerned that could be one of their ways of attacking back.
Yep. I completely understand. You're right about that.
Yeah. Real quick.
Yeah,
all those people, you there?
Yeah, I am.
All those people that surrounded the bridges and the power stations, there was hundreds of thousands of them. And those were volunteers.
Well, you're going to have to put quotations around volunteers. I think they were voluntold is what was happening. Larry in Cleveland County, not much time for you, Larry, but go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hey, I just want to tell you one thing. Love your animals because they love you more than these people outside the world.
You're right about that. Do you know what they're doing in London, Larry? The Muslims the Muslims in London are putting poison in the parks so people's dogs will eat them and die because they believe that dogs are haram.
Hey, Charlie, I sleep with my dogs.
I do too.
That's
whether
a bad thing, huh?
whether I like it or not, there are dogs in my bed every single night.
sir.
I appreciate it, Larry. Thank you very much. Yeah, they've got a schedule. I don't understand how they do it. Artie always starts off, he's on my feet, he's down on my legs. And then Sophie, she'll be up near my lovely Sheila. And then sometime in the night, Sophie will get up, she'll go down. Artie will go out into the hall. He'll sleep in the hall for a couple of hours, and then he'll come up and he'll curl around on Sheila's feet. And that's the way we wake up every morning, except for this morning where Sophie heard something outside and she started barking. I didn't scold her because that's what I want her to do. All right, folks, we're going to get out of here. We'll be right back tomorrow. It will be Wednesday. Y'all have a lovely evening. God bless. Buckle up. Bye, y'all.